When we talk about entrepreneurship, we should have a banker. So we do. We do have Mr. Balasubramaniam, Chairman, City Union Bank. Can I request Mr. Balasubramaniam to deliver the special address?
Mr. Rashminarayanan and captains of many industry on the dais and also of the dais. In fact, if you look at the dais, most of them are connected to IT industry, and also the persons from higher officials or senior officials from Government of India who are associated with the development of energy and technology. I am a banker. I do not fit into the same compartments. Of course, he has touched upon, the previous speaker touched upon the banking industry. I have been a banker for 40 years. Probably the next generation, you will not have any employee like me having joined the bank as a probation officer, rising to the level of MD and CEO, and now holding the post of chairman. I doubt very much, because a lot of attrition are taking place, a lot of jumps are being taking place. So I do not fit into the present day employees. It is not, I don't say it is wrong. I worked in all departments. Why I made a mention is the department in which I worked, which I liked most is HR. I had a stint for about 5 years in HR department as AGM and as DGM. It is one of the most challenging job for me. And I have been associated with recruitment as well as training. Therefore, I feel I can talk something on the forum on banking job. Banking has undergone a lot of transformation since 1991, because why I mentioned the year is 1991 is the year in which the financial sector reforms started. We talked about Basel I, Basel II, and Basel III, and so on. And if you take the changes that had happened, I do not want to go into the banking too much, but I just want to say changes are on 3 phases. One is on regulations, which is more or less governed by international standards. The second one is on account of the technology. The total change, a metamorphic change has occurred in banking industry on account of the technology, reaching the customer in a different way. The third one is competition, again supplemented by technology. So the bankers today have to understand so many jargons today, because when we joined the bank, we never had the word marketing or product or even the technology. Today, if you go to the top management, you should not only be a banker but also a good mathematician. Why I say this is, today you will have to understand what is sigma or pi or the derivatives or so on and so forth. So the bankers today knowledge, they must understand what is Excel spreadsheet. They must be able to operate on Excel spreadsheets more fluently than any other person to arrive at so many figures. So definitely banking has given a lot of opportunities. He has also mentioned that not much of recruitment has taken place in banking industry. The one reason being the computerization. In fact, the computerization has definitely given way for a lot of improvements. It has totally avoided the monotony or the which we experienced in those days. Coming back to the qualities that we require for a bank employee today, it is changing. As rightly pointed out, today's employees needs a different attitude. The one thing which we observe, because being associated with a lot of recruitments and training, what I personally observe, the qualification distinctions are the only criteria that they aim, the students aim. But they must understand it is only a passport, not a visa. More than qualification are the distinctions. They must learn so many other soft skills. How to deal with others, the interpersonal, intrapersonal relationship. This we find absent in the present education system. Whatever be the course, these are all needed. Even coming to the BCom graduates, in fact, I would also supplement the previous speakers. Nowadays, parents think that the engineering and the medicine are the only two roads available for their wards. They train them. And in fact, it starts from 9th standard to 12th standard. They are being pushed into so many additional tuitions. See that they get 95 plus or something like that to get admission into the medicine or engineering. That is not the only road available to them. There are many other courses. Today we find that even the CIO rightly pointed out, even CIO or CEO, if he does not know what is accounting, there will be a failure. That is what they must understand. Lot of engineering graduates, they take up MBA, rise to the administrative side or management side. If that is the case, why not a BCom or MCom students pursue MBA, rise to the management side? So definitely I feel that the engineering and the medicines are not the only the end of the road for their career. This is one thing that every parent and student must understand. The other thing which I find that even though a lot of subjects have been inducted in the courses, for example, BCom or MCom, not much of revision has taken place in the syllabus. When they come for the interview, we don't ask them a detailed question. If at all, if we ask them, you know what is RBI? Because once they come for bank interview, when I ask them, they forget about what is being taught in other things. They say, sometimes they say it is lender of the last resort. Why I mentioned this is, RBI has got so many other functions, why they talk about lender of the last resort? I don't know. Because it is talking about, you tell about the sea, they say that talk about only tsunami. There are so many other facets because the subjects are not properly covered up. In fact, I happened to attend one program by UGC for the UGC, the professors of the colleges, where I found that the developments that is taking place in the banking industry is not reflected in their syllabus. They are not aware of what is happening around us, the Basel I or Basel II or anything like that. The syllabus have not been revised. So I personally feel that the education system, this is what the universities and colleges, I personally feel, they are instruments of change. So they should not only make them understand the current issues, but also the issues of the future. That is what I personally feel. The another thing which I wanted to tell the youngsters who are present here, as a banker, we have come across so many entrepreneurs. And most of the entrepreneurs, to our surprise, they are not qualified in engineering or qualified in higher management. They are successful. In fact, I happened to meet one entrepreneur last week who joined as a sweeper in a textile industry, of course having studied polytechnic, a sweeper in a textile industry somewhere in 84 or 85. He started a small trading firm on textiles somewhere in 92, 93, and started a small power loom in 97. Today, he is doing an export turnover of 250 crores. Just a matter of 15 years. Why I tell all those things is the entrepreneurship for the students, always they think about the risk. There is a more risk for not taking risk. This is what I want, risk of not taking risk. I can tell you a small story. It's actually a small story. A blind man was standing by the side of the road. Somebody to help him. He was waiting, it's a busy road. Somebody tapped on his shoulder. He happened to be another blind man. He said, I want to cross the road, can you help me? The first blind man, in fact, took the risk and took him to the other side. This is not a story, this is a real story, it's a true story. The first blind man was George Shearing, the famous jazz pianist. Probably such of those who are in the... Why he made a mention in all his speeches, saying that at that time I do not know what to do. It made me to take a risk. Then it allowed me to understand the potential in me, and then I have become successful. This is what he said. So I want to tell the students also, risk of not taking risk is more than taking risk. This is what I want to do on entrepreneurship. The another thing why I want to say, we are, as a bankers, we are now having an induction training, a product or area-wise training, and also on-the-job training. What we feel the education system should, more than that, the one thing that is required for all these things, the attitude that is required for them to learn. Learning is a continuous process that everybody should understand. But the education system should give us some of the soft skills of interpersonal relationship that is needed, especially for industry like banking, because they have to, the banking industry has got a some peculiarity which I want to talk, because the other industry will have the same type of right. Here you will find illiterate, on the other side you find persons like Jairam Krishnan. So we have a wide range of customers. So the interpersonal relationship is one of these things. The subject should, the education should give that, and probably this institution like this ICT Academy can help them to have the soft skills that is required for them to acquire more skills in the industry that is required. Banking industry has got a high potential. In fact, by 2020, I think we hope that the Indian banking industry will come to the top. That is what is expected. Thank you very much for giving the opportunity. I'm sure that ICT Academy will rise and do more service to the youngsters. Thank you very much.